Hello one more time for my 23rd day. This is the third video this week, and it concludes the week. A correction on my notes earlier. I spelled vice wrong a day or so ago. It should be V-I-S-E. With a C, it's the evil things you do. With an S, it's a machine part to hold something, or a tool. Alright, now, I don't know that you should write this down in your notes. Maybe you should just listen to me here. I couldn't take you... I had a plan for a field trip this week, and I was bitterly disappointed. I was going to take the camera into a nearby town where they have a festival. And I have a very good friend who has an unbelievable collection of flat belt driven machinery. Old-fashioned stuff. He, for years, maybe 30 years, he's shown how how they ground wheat and buckwheat into flour, and he really has an incredible collection, and he's been willing to show it to the public. However, to my shock and amazement, they did not give him space for that this year. I couldn't believe it, because it's such a special thing to see. But I'll find some way for you to get to see it. I was going to go in and help him this weekend and next weekend and take the video camera and show you that wonderful action, but I'll find a way. But anyway, that one failed. Instead, maybe I can't say it would be better, but instead what I'd like you to do is, if you will find a way online to find something called A Journey in the History of Water. If you search that, if you Google it, you'll find it. This is a video. I couldn't believe I did this. I paid $80 for this thing. I had it shipped to me from Norway. I don't spend that kind of money, but I wanted this so badly when I found out what it was, and I was glad I got it. It's available as a DVD. You can get it online. Anyway, if you're able to go to that, or you go to the bother, you should be able to. If you'll look at the section called Hunza, that deals with Hunza, it's almost at the very beginning of that whole series. The whole series is well worth your watching and owning, I think. I don't know, Terje Tvelt, that is his name. I don't know how to say it. He's Norwegian. He's the one that put that on. That could help you find it. You're going to need Real Player, I think, on your computer to be able to play that clip that's offered. But that's the one about Hunza. That's the one I'd like you to watch. This might help you too, watervideo.com. That might help you to find it. Anyway, I love to be able to show that to kids, because it shows footage of this guy on the side of a cliff in Pakistan, taking his life in his hands, his feet really, walking along this water channel that's been chipped out of the rock, and explaining that people in the Hunza Valley went to all this bother because they had to get the water to their fields. Now that Hunza is not a huge civilization like in Mesopotamia, but it's the same principle. They had to work together to do that. And it was an incredible feat. Now, one of the reasons I get so excited about this is because the first place I ever saw this had nothing to do with my formal education. I was traveling in Peru when I went to Machu Picchu, and before I got there, the first place I ever saw this was in Peru, actually near a town called Yungay, which 10 months later was wiped out by a landslide. Yungay. If you want to find out, am I really telling you the truth here? Yungay, you could look about that and you'd see it. I was there, and that's the first place I was ever up on the side of a mountain watching water rushing sideways. Well, they did the same thing. In so many parts of the world where you've got good soil, lots of sunlight, not enough rain, but mountains up there with melting glaciers and melting snow fields, it's tapped into, and they run alongside of the mountain. Well, this has been a lifelong interest of mine ever since I saw it. Irrigation, gravity-driven irrigation, not pumps. My name, the channel is Mr. Biss. #1, I think, is my channel. Well, Bis is the Swiss French word for these very channels. If you run these things together on a Google search, you'll come up with websites about this, especially one right away. If you put an S on the end of it, make it plural, you're more likely to not find other stuff. In the German part of Switzerland, they're called Suonen, these channels. In South Tyrol, they're called Waale. In parts of, I think, the Madeira Islands, or maybe the Canary Islands, they're called Levadas. In Peru, they're called Acequias. And in German, more normal German, they're called Wasserleitungen. Well, this is something that Americans don't really know anything about. I don't think. I didn't know anything about it. I discovered it. But, you know, I mentioned earlier there may be some spin-offs from this course. Well, there's very likely going to be a spin-off on this one, because this is a subject which is very dear to my heart. And my friend Shirley, my German friend, has helped me to find this stuff. And I have video. I don't yet know how I can have it so you can see this, but I have videos of it. I know a lot about this subject. I've read a book in French about it, Au Pays des Bisses. I have well, on it goes. And I had better stop soon, but I would tell you, I took my wife one time to Switzerland to see these. The first time we went through and didn't manage to see them. The second time I had a Swiss friend by then, met online, and he took us and we saw Bisses. Bis de Ho. There's another thing that if you look it up, he took us to the Bis du Ho. It might be, no, I think that's right. In Switzerland. We were walking along Biss, and we heard a helicopter, and we looked up and didn't see anything. Well, we had to look down. The helicopter was flying below us, and we were walking along a water channel. That gives you an idea of how amazing these things are. My poor wife, she's afraid of heights. She forgave me. But anyway, it's a long story. The one thing I would tell you is, though, that depending how this year goes, if I get enough people interested in this course, especially if you're interested in this spin-off, I would love to take you guys to Switzerland to show you some of these Bisses. I'm going to have to leave this subject now because otherwise I'll get too swept up by it. But and if I can't take you personally, I'll certainly try to find a way for you to see video of it or give you directions so that when you go to Switzerland you can see these Bisses. They're perfectly wonderful. Alright, I guess this is the end of another week. Certainly I hope to see you on Monday. As you can probably tell, I'm enjoying this whole experience. Bye for now.